Finally, I get the video to work. I spent ENT time on it. Spent, sent, bent, he went. Is it spelled with an H, went? Because what is spelled with an H and why? So why can't went be spelled with an H? Because he didn't went. He went from heaven. It's the only time he went from anywhere. We only went from heaven. We did not return. Will we retrieve? Be retrieved? Or are we already there? The outlet connection can just fail. It doesn't matter. We're still up there. We were never here to start with. Happy Rosh Hashanah. I was in Shul today. They're doing a little documentary on our synagogue in St. Sophie. It's 100 years this year. It's just so funny. 57, 72. The coming of the Messiah, the way they speak about it in the Torah, and whatever else I read online. I don't read much. I just repeat what I think I saw, or what I think I'm going to see, or what I want to see. So whatever it is, it's still in the news. It might just be my news and no other news. You know what I was thinking of? Made a little design before. I was dividing the letter I, the capital I. You can split it, okay? And when you finish splitting it, I don't know if I showed you the final result of it. I'm gonna do it right now, so you see it. Okay, it's right here. This is what they would call the yud. You see here the 4 C's. Okay, if you flip them around the other way, you turn into a tic-tac-toe. If you cross lines through it, you become the snowflake. But this here, okay, this center here is the corner of the eye. One corner of one eye, the other corner of the other eye. Okay, the Jack of Spades and the Jack of Hearts. Okay, and this is this one is the birth connection, and one is the God connection. Those are the 4 parts of the eye. When you put them together, it doesn't look like this. It looks like this here, right here. See, I divided it with the cross, but there's more than one way to divide it, and it depends how many levels you put it on, and whether or not you want to flatline it. Flatline it means take all the lines that are this way and just remove them and use the rest. So then, if you want to recreate the word, you just put back the lines. If it's with spirit, the lines come with it, because it's the lines that connect the spirits. And if you put a line on top and a line on bottom and an X on both sides, you're going to trap in space. Okay, that's what it's all about, filling up space. So anyways, on this side, actually what I did design is the ALEPH. You ever take a look at the ALEPH, okay, on the top left-hand corner it bubbles. I'm talking an ALEPH in colorful design. It bubbles on one side. Yet down in the other corner it bubbles up. Okay, so it shows, okay, that one corner of the eye that's flipped down, okay, that represents the spirit connect with the birth. They don't have to show the birth. Once they show the spirit connect corner of the eye, right here, okay, that goes on top of the Hebrew letters. They call it the yud. You know, they turn it over because one part of the space is empty. And don't forget the dice, okay, because on a dice, okay, you see that on a dice, but if you split the dice apart and you just dark line it, okay, you end up with, I'm going to have to try and design this if I could. There's many ways to do this design. I'm just doing it the fastest way. You end up actually, are you still there? You end up actually with this. The open design of the space of the dice. If you put them together, it actually creates that O. And instead of making the O, I just connected 4 corners and then split this in half. Okay. Following me so far? That's the square. Anyways, another thing I was going to show you is splitting the eye in half creates 52, 52, 22, 25, okay? And when you put it back together just on top, it creates the equal sign or the twin towers, but nothing is equal. It's no such thing. Equality in this world only exists in words and in the dictionary under definition and thesaurus, and for anything else any bubble-baloo will say about peace. There is no peace. You always have to worry. And for some reason, I feel like I'm never worried about the criminal. Well, criminal is something that people know as being no good. But you know what? There's a lot of no goods out there. No one calls them a criminal. They just make mistakes. Criminals, you know, they do it on purpose. Make a mistake, do it on purpose. Why didn't you think before? Why didn't you think 25 years in advance? You know, a generation to take care of your own family, you got to think at least one generation. If you want to take care of your grandchildren, you got to think of your generation and their 2 generations, and you're 75 years old now. 1, 2, 3 lines, 4, 5, 6 on your telephone keypad and calculator. You got to work 75 years in advance. So in a big nation like the Americans, go out and make a budget. I don't care what anybody says. The most money you can ever make in 1 year, okay, is 0. Now, how do you spend it? How does it work? Don't forget, it's united, okay? All for one and one for all. Where's the problem? Are we giving out too much credit? What actually is it? You can't go in debt for trillions of dollars just like that. It doesn't work that way. Of course not. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work that way. If you're doing it for the people, you would do it all for the people. Employment, you know what? If you can't give the employment, give the people the money for free. Instead of shoving them in an office, building up a building, paying taxes, we got letters and everything coming in the email. Who cares? You're paying them $50,000 plus the building $20,000, $70,000 a year. Give them $30,000 to stay home. Who cares what they do? Do you care? We're keeping office in office. That's the way it goes. I just want to show you the corner of the stamping foot of the ALEPH. Okay, is this corner here. Right here. It's full the corner because in each corner it's 77, 77. But the corner talks in 3 worlds. It also shows Lamed, Lamed in Hebrew. Lamed, Lamed, heart to heart. Why is it heart to heart? Because the spade and the heart. The black spade and the red heart. Connected with the black club of the energy of the spirit of the diamond. 2.5 men. Boy, he has a nice mask. One day I'm going to remove my mask and see what's under here. I might be just part of the game of cards. I guess since all the seats are taken, I'll just be the Joker. But what color do I choose? Am I a tomato? There's nothing black. If I chose black and I bent over, I'd look like a skunk. I'll lift my hands, lift my paws. Did I tell you yesterday in the video the difference between war and the reverse of war, raw? You see, war, W-A-R, is creation, angel, and a rebirth. So it's actually you're building an angel and you're recreating the angel. So you're actually building them and tearing them apart at the same time. So why would raw be any different? Well, because with war, it's beta, creation, 3 points, 2 points on the bottom is the connecting rods, 5 orange, okay, beta creation, war. The 1 is the angel, the R is the one spirit of heaven, creation of the angel and the one spirit of heaven. How do you do that? How does man create the angel and the one spirit of heaven? Now, if you read it backwards, raw, okay, it's the one spirit of heaven, of angel, of beta creation. Now that's an explanation. So you can have it raw, but you can't have the war. It just works against each other. And so does the word. And I found something in Laval. I found my number 7286 and this place called Wolf Alpha. Very funny. I'm working with the wolf, La Lou. Okay, the wolf pack. The pack of cards. Now we're off subject and we're going on to Rubik's Cube because we're in the Jewish holidays and everything is Trinity. 3 by 3 by 3 because I'm in this corner and I say I'm 3 of 3 of 3. And the guy in the other corner, he says, I'm 3 of 3 of 3. And the guy in the other corner says, I'm 3 of 3. And the guy in the last corner says, I'm 3 of 3. What's going on? Well, I'm 3 of 3 others. But in all actuality, it's 3 of 4 because I'm already 3. I stand up and just me being, you look at me and it should just say 3. 3 times 3 times 3, 27. The 14th one, okay, according to the way I count, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The 14th joint of the Rubik's Cube is the core. Turn that 14 around, which is the letter N, to the letter Z, you have 26 and 14. What does that equal? 40. Because one time around is 40. 40, 40, 40 of 4 corners of 400 years. Of what they call, and I call a dissectomy, is when you hit 1,000 years. And God brought time and never leaves time. Because it's in a section, okay? It must run in sections of 7,000 basic years. How can I explain this to you? Oh boy, this is going to be tough. 7,000 years, excuse me, I think it was 4,000 years. 4,000 and 3,000. That's what it is. But there's a startup. Oh my God, how can I start it? The double up dice, the way it starts in each section, it always takes 225 years. And then nothing actually has a number until it reaches 1. So 1 year after the total of creation becomes year 1, when everybody says, okay, nothing's actually happened, you can't have a birth or anything, it takes 1 year. Okay, and in racehorses, the minute, if they're born in, this is the way I understand it, in June, in January, they're called yearlings. So that's the reason for the 226. And now we go back to the time of Noah, 7,000 years ago, plus the 225, plus the 1 year, makes 7286. Oh, I didn't even notice it's in the background. The 5, okay, everything works in cycles. One of the cycles is the 147 cycle, which is the connection cycle, and because 1 times 1 does not double up, we leave the 1 out. We only use the 4 and the 7, the left side of the telephone keypad. I think it's on the calculator too. 4 by 7 creates the beta world. 4 weeks to 7, it's all perfect. 2 is beta, 8 is the heaven. The beta world has 2 squares, each with 4 corners inside of her, which she runs. God's world also has 4 squares, and with man's world, he actually has 10, because he envelopes the totality of everything. And then, if he attaches the beta world to it, he ends up enveloping 14 corners, 14 things. Okay, I don't have the picture, I don't have the time to design. Everything is in the corner. Just put a cross inside that screen there and make space, and everything's got its own corner. 1973. Does anybody know about 1973? Look at your telephone. 1 across from 9, across from 7, across from 3. It's all the 4 corners. 1973. If you decide to turn the inside of the telephone, the 2468, it's always going to place itself in the center. The corners are always going to go to the corners. In the center, well, workable center 5, orange, the hot sun, that never runs out because it's plugged in. So what was I looking up to talk about? We talked about the ALEPH, okay, and why the 777, okay, because in a pi, okay, these 4 7s in a pi would take up to 4 times. So 4 7s, 4 by 7 is 28 of 1 square. 1, 4, 7. The 1 Spirit of God is his home. Then when he divides it up, 1, 2, and 3 corners. This corner's half. This is a 3/4 corner. It's a creation corner. It's used 3 times on this line, okay, in creation. Don't forget the 3 is here, and it's a corner. 3 ends up going down here, 3 goes here, and 3 goes here. So it's used 4 times, but one of the times isn't counted because of its own corner. So it's only used 3 times. And that's the reason that if you look at the ALEPH in the fancy letter, it'll show you a Zion. Because in all actuality, the ALEPH, okay, in the top right-hand corner shows a Zion, in the bottom left-hand corner shows a Yud. But because it's a stamping foot, he flattened the part that lifts on the Yud, and it's upside down because God's world is upside down to ours. It actually says 7-6 from right to left, from the top to the bottom left leg. Take a look at it on fancy writing. It's really cool, man. Happy New Year.